Welcome to Center of Light. That is the goal. That is the focus, hopefully. Hocus pocus. That is what you want to be. Right there. You want to be that. More so now than ever. It's been crazy. Fun crazy. The more you are that, which tonight is all about, the more you will be able to handle that, which is moving in you, without a doubt. That right there. Center of Light, Renewal. Agents of change.
Access granted.
Go where no man has gone before.
Feel me? Agents of change. What would an agent of change look like? You might think it looks like Jesus or Swanji and all the, or a pretty bird. That's all cool. What if this was an agent? These were agents of change, designed specifically, lovingly and beautifully, and only for you. What about that? Look at all these emblems, all these symbols, all these things. What do you see? Do you see agents of change? I sure do. So instead of pointing finger, if these are agents of change, so let's call God, in this regard, change, because change is forever. The only thing that will never change is change. So that would be God, that which is infinite forever and constantly moving and turning and expanding and with itself. That would be change, the wheel of change, time, or rather, no time. The space of being and expressing into the realm of time, from no time to time. Now is the time, and there is no more time left. Agents of change. Wow. So if these are agents, these are little reconnaissance kind of things, or ideas of creator, change, God, change. Agents. Pieces that work for the infrastructure. Agents, ambassadors, light workers, whatever that is. Agents of change. So they're all agents of the one universal change, and it's happening right now, and it's coming down the pike, dear Lord, after this event with you tonight. I hopefully will bring that forth in such a way that you may see it as I do. Not that mine's better. I know what I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do it. But if you, by all means, in any shape, form, or fashion, if you have something for me, put it in a shot glass and say, this one's on me. I'll take it. Center of Light, Renewal, Agents of Change. I want to show that screen again. Are these truly agents of change? Look at them all. Hello, Dora. Hello, Robert. Hello, Roxanne. Everyone else, I'll get to you shortly because I love you. Look at all this. What is that? Distraction? Noise? Mean? Evil? Slanted? Slighted? Or are they simply agents of change? The dynamic is changing already for you, isn't it? Just simply seeing it as agents of change. If we already understood that the only thing will never change is change itself, we would need such agents of change. But these agents have been commissioned, every single one of them, without exception. But within is the answer, and there is no question. Those were agents of change. So we established that God is change infinite change, always expressing itself according to its own will and doesn't give a flying flip of what anyone thinks about it being God. It doesn't care. This is my gig. You are my children. But when you get into my gig, it becomes your gig. And until you understand who you are, for you to able to get to me so you can understand the we of it all, I'm going to forever send you agents of change, however it takes. Good, bad, in, out, up, down, hot, cold, left, right, holy, blasphemous. It doesn't work any other way. Call it what you like. It's irrelevant. But we know what it is, because between the empty space of how I see it, or use my theories, and or you use your theories, that's all nonsense. What is the common denominator is that we both understand. These are agents of change. Looking at this banner again, what on this banner has not influenced you inwardly? The United States flag. I don't mean nationalism. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what the United States of America actually represents in its divine intention. The place where all can collect and gather and be free. That was the agenda of the United States in the story. That's what the flag actually means. That's what the United States really means. It doesn't mean this nationalism, get your gun, get your book, and start hitting, and start shooting. That's not what it is. That's not what America is. People sadly and erroneously mistake the idea of America for its military might. We're America, don't mess with us. That's not what it is, man. It's about this beautiful possibility that we're fortunate to be in this country, to inspire others to want to not come to the land of America, so that the reality of America sets inside of them as well, no matter what land they walk on. That's the understanding of America. Go live your dreams in America. So you don't have to be on the North American continent to be in America. That's not what America is. America is a part of a global body. America is the head. And I'm using these words deliberately, so you can't take me out of context. I'm telling you I'm using these words deliberately. It's the head of a snake. Wow. Let me exit out of here real quick. Follow me. It's the head of a snake. America is the head of a snake, because a snake is long and slender. It's very linear. Tail all the way to the head. America's at the head. It's the one leading the way. And it's got some fangs now, don't mind you. It's got some fangs. And if that snake has to use those fangs, it will. For good or for bad. But that is a snake. But also, snakes, especially cobras, in the Hindu tradition, is the highest divinity there is. Many times when God realized men come to earth, under the newborn baby, they will find cobras. Because the cobra is there to say, you are not coming in and manipulating this beautiful, innocent child that was just born under the light of God. So cobras are there to say, don't tread on me. Beautiful idea, isn't it? It's not this demonic devil thing. That's not it at all. So United States would be the head of the divine snake. That which is either able to slither around the universe unnoticed, but definitely able to strike if it has to protect its divinity. Otherwise, it wants no part of you. It doesn't want to mess with you. It wants you to just simply realize there's a snake. So India would be the heart of the global body. America's the head of the global body. India would be the heart. And all these different countries and regions have their own aspect of the human body, the global body, the solar body, the galactic body, the cosmic body, the infinite body of Christ. It's not hard. So tonight is Center of Light Renewal. Agents of change. Do these look like agents of change to you? They sure do trigger us. And now we go to the right top side of the screen, see China. What do you see? And then you see the summer solstice icon behind the U. And then we see statues in America being desecrated. Wow. It's Happy Father's Day. And we see got white privilege. Uh-oh. Am I going there? Well, goddamn right I'm going there. Black Lives Matter. We got the leader of China, and he's got 5G over his head. Literally, karmically, it is over his head. Hello, Amy. Hello, Katarina. And then we got Big Daddy BG, Mr. Billy Gates, with the COVID on top of his skull. And then we got a syringe, supposedly from BG, ready to pull in some Corona Extra, in fact. It's supposed to be a second wave. Corona Extra. And last but not least, you got the most popular, powerful, charismatic, handsome young man to the bottom left corner of your screen. His name is Donald Trump. Let me say right off the bat, I am not pro-Trump. I am not anti-Trump. I am not pro this. I am not pro that. Thank you, Carolyn Renando. You're so lovely. I'm not saying anything about Donald Trump. I'm going to talk about spiritual law. Well, Keith, you might be slanting spiritual law into your ideas of how you can make this fit. Bullshit. I'm that confident. Call it what you like. I want to show some similarities to what divine law looks like to all these different agents of change. And my hope is whether it looks like the this one or the that one or the this thing or the that thing or the other thing, that's noise. I want to take you deeper into the vaccination. I want to infect you with a new possibility. So it may look like the Donald, or the vaccination, or the Gates, or the Fauci, or this, or the that, the burning of statues, the desecration of statues. It may look like that. Actually, I want you to see it like that. Hello, Vesna. Actually, play with the idea for a while. Get yourself all fired up and juicy and wet. Get all excited about it. Get all up into the grill of all these people and all these icons, these archetypes out here. Oh, they're definitely active in your life. You don't want to fall in the victim position. You know what, Keith? I know I'm not a victim. I know I'm not a victim. And look, I know I'm not a victim. But yet somehow we continue to let those things at least get us grumbly for a little while. That's okay. Thank God it's not a long while and then to someone who's unconscious and they don't know if they even live in this regard. This multiplicity you see in the world is exactly like I used the analogy of the snake. It was a rope. In the dark, you have mistaken this rope to be a snake. But yet, the reality doesn't change. Divinity doesn't change from the world as the rope didn't from the snake. For goodness sake. What do you see? But I'm going to tell you a beautiful story tonight. What I see has happened, happening now, potentially to happen, and with a little bit of a little kick in the boo about what I think honestly is coming. We can change it at any moment. This is not doom and gloom. This is not the snake, nor is it the rope. It's the hope between all of that which is your reality and how you see yourself, either muddled, shrouded, monkey-minded, and clouded, or if you see yourself in your mind. In fact, you don't see yourself. You're gone. You don't want to be here. You want that which is everywhere to be here. I tell you this because today is, you want to talk about alignment as to why I called this experience early in the, I don't call this a presentation, an event. Tonight is an event, not because of center of light, because of the center of light that's happening throughout you, me, we, and the world. Today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers, all you babas, all you masculine energy. Today is also the Ring of Fire eclipse. Wow! Eclipses are, not have been known, they are harbingers of change. Agents of change. Renewal. So we have Father's Day. This may sound like Keith's trying to force fit. I'm telling you, there's another language. Stick around. Father's Day. Father. What is father? What is the primal father? So everything comes from primal father through primal mother. The solar eclipse. That's the one I left out. Talk about an agent of change. The background of which all of these props set is the solar eclipse. This is all change. So the father wills forth an idea, and the mother becomes the stage of which this is all happening. Our attention is being gotten because we have not been forgotten. In fact, we are the forerunners. But we're getting nudges from the gardener that says, guys, time to keep up. This is what's happening. So with all of this happening, what those banners that banner I've been showing you is about agents of change. It'll help you get out of the fight. It'll help you to feel better within yourself about when the fight really goes down. I'm going to give you level 1. We just can't, well, up until December 31st, when I said tomorrow your life is going to change, and it did. Up until December 31st, that was level 1. Kind of just from 0 to moving into an idea. January 1st, it went up a level. COVID, 5G. The earth is definitely, mind you, getting cleaner because everyone's in the house. That's a beautiful thing in and of itself. What if we did that once every fucking 10 years? To go into the house for 2 weeks or a week? Because look around. Look at what dolphins are coming inland. This is happening. Things are growing. New algae. Things are healing. The earth is healing. Beautiful possibility. And what looks like said horrific. The world is changing. Not only the world is changing, your world is changing. Your reality is changing. And there's nothing you can do about it except choose to get involved with that deliberate, higher level, from the court of the highest order, will and tension. It's going to get loud. Real loud. And it's going to get loud real soon. Come the closer we get to November 3rd. This is not political. It is critical. If you want to understand and not get pulled into the whirlpool of more nonsense. Well, Keith, I'm pretty balanced. Congratulations. I'm happy you're balanced. But something that you believe so strongly, if it is not of the highest balance, your heart and your will to be right about what you think you need to stand in and up for, will pull you in a misdirection and pull you further into a COVID infection. You don't want that. Well, Keith, this is a play of consciousness. These are energies coming together and having sex. that thing. That's truly what's happening. These things are coming together, the male and feminine energies, the light and the dark, and they're beginning to move on levels that we cannot possibly understand until we truly want to possibly understand it. And granted, when we do, we plant ourselves and watch the movie, and it gets real groovy. Until then, the spiritually illumined ones will watch you as the movie. You will be gazed upon in your bereftness. Phase 1. Everyone knows 2020 is coming. 2020 comes. Boop. Whoa. And that looks like all of this, doesn't it? You can't deny it. If you are, you're a fool. It looks just like that, right? It looks just like that. Right, wrong, indifferent, good, bad, hot, cold, in, out, up, down, holy, blasphemous. It's all irrelevant. That's noise. The honest question one could ask themselves is, does this have a whole, role, soul? I kind of like this one a little more than that one. Others see it differently. So what is truly important when you look at these agents of change? What does it look like? And automatically your mind begins to scan with your eyes and take in information and solidifies judgments of what one chooses to think what is actually right, wrong, real, or false. Would that be a true statement? Because, well, I know that what I believe is, I get it. I have my own. We all have our own. But that is the game being played. So if we're tired of being swayed and dismayed, we have to understand first the bed that we have laid. Until then, you will never birth your own conscious new child self. This is where we are. We're in phase 1. Check this out. The clip the banner I just showed you with the eclipse as the background. Now, because now is change. God is equal to infinite change. God is not complacent. God is not the same. God is constantly this infinite being turning within itself and loving and exploding into beautiful more possibilities as it always has, because there is no beginning and there is no end. It's infinite. It's just all this expression turning within itself and making this phenomenal spiritual divine cheesecake that everyone wants a bite of. So this is what's happening. When you see it this way, not only does it alleviate ache in your own heart, it puts you in correct compassion within yourself first, that you express that outward. And you hasten the very agenda and or goal with your spirituality or your religion or your deity to say, this is really what I want to take all of my energy, all of the me of me, and invest it into this experience so it may blossom like a plant. Because what you give your attention to, plant or weed, you are planting the watering seed, which water is the bringer of life, the harbinger of change. Water is forever. Water is forever. The seed is there's infinite forests in the potential of every seed. It's the same thing, turning within itself, turning within itself. But the eclipse throughout, and look it up in the scripture, any scripture, it's spirit basically saying, I'm not trying to be spirit by saying, listen to me. It's a loving landmark given to all of us to say, all of the elders, all of the ancients, all of the indigenous, all of those who are connected deeply to the mother, the earth, back through the cosmic womb we go to God. You came from God, so to speak, from there to here on earth. Where'd you come from? Your mother's womb. You think your biological mother's different from your galactic cosmic mother's? No, it's the same womb. It's just different subfolders of the same womb. So as we came, we go back. Hence why we have intercourse. Males enter into the womb to bring about an offspring. And over and cyclically, over and over, life goes. The reason this is so important as to why I'm telling you is Father's Day, summer solstice, ring of fire, solar eclipse. What was the other one? Give me one moment. Did I say Father's Day? Father's Day, ring of fire. Either way, this day is packed full of amazing synchronicity. I'm going to be right back. I got lots of reading to do. It's always my blessing to be with you. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. Yanaba. Father's Day, solar eclipse, solstice, and Donald Trump's speech last night. I am not pro Donald Trump. Honestly, I kind of like the cat. I watched it last night. True or not is irrelevant. What brought me joy was watching this man as if he was in a rock band. Let's not even call him the president. Let's have some fun. This is not to desecrate the office of the president. That's not what I'm trying to convey here. I'm asking you to have fun. So let's say this rock star, he is the Bon Jovi of the frickin' age. You can like it or not. So you have no argument. I can't argue with you, Keith. Yeah, he is that. Okay, well, some people like Twisted Sisters, Dee Snider, some people didn't. But no one can deny, in the 80s, he was the rock, quote, god. True story. Same. Trump is that guy. He's got charisma. He's funny. He's goofy. I say this lovingly without judgment. He's a buffoon. That's just a word that describes his buffoonery. He's just a buffoon. I'm going to share something with you when I get back from the break, not because I'm Donald Trump, pro or con, this or that. I'm going to share some comparisons, what I know to be so solid in me about divine law. It's going to reveal, hopefully, all these different agents of change. So when we see that, one element that moves and intertwines within us as the snake. United States is the head of the divine snake, the divine cobra, that which protects the innocents, and so forth. Hello, Sue Lindsay. I'll see you guys shortly. Stick around. Center of Light, Renewal, Agents of Change. I want to show you this banner. There's a lot. It's crammed with. I did this on purpose. I was going to put more, but it made the point. It's crammed with images, almost out of balance, and it's almost like I don't want to look at this anymore. I want you to keep looking at it because you don't want to look at it anymore. Then look at it for another 30 seconds. Check it out. There's too much to take in. And as you glance across the board, you see your mind change. Whatever image you are looking at, not only your mind, your belief, your religion actually changes in that moment. Bill Gates, So in that moment, that's your experience. You look at 5G, and then you look at Trump, and some of you may go, oh man. And so it's all the same thing. But we're going to talk about all these different aspects. Even the desecration of the statues. And hello, for those who are here, I'm not judging you. I'm throwing these up as a model. If you are, I understand Republican. There's a beautiful quality to Republican. There's a beautiful quality to liberal and Democrat as well. I am not talking about the radicalism, the people who took it into a level of nonsense. I'm talking about seeing something, but on this level of Republican, there is a truth to it. And I want to reveal that to you so that you may see the one we know as DJT. He may not be conscious of the spirit having its arm up his backside. This is not a slant. I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm going to share divine law, and you can make your own choice. So, what's really right? What is really wrong? Do we know anything at all, or are we stringing ourselves simply along? So tonight is Center of Light Renewal, Agents of Change, Why Not, Lavender Soul. Time for a change. Be right back. Keith Anthony Blanchard, Yanava.
Surely as the rain may fall, I wonder why. Worried there'll come a time when my world is dry, oh so dry. In the summertime I won't have no water. It's a little bit harder to take. As I contemplate a billion stars, leaving my hands to fate, that's all I've got, all I've got. In the summertime I won't have no water. It's a little bit harder to leaving my hands to fade, all up to fade. I wonder why. Ooh, I wonder
Welcome back to Center of Light. Here we go. I love this beautiful possibility. It's great. Brass bowl. Intention. No, excuse me. Brass bowl. Possibility. Mallet. Conscious intention as to why I strike with my intention. A question to God. And it sounds something like this. It may sound like prayer. By the way, everything's backwards. Yanava. It sounds something like this. Follow it. Let it take you somewhere. You still hearing it? Are you listening? Or are you listening? When you're listening, it goes from here to here, which actually, this is actually higher than that, of the ear, of the mind. You hear. So it requires, believe it or not, this to really hear, to become so clear that your divine parent, when it pushes through you, as you take every breath that requires you to be alive on this earth, that is what begins to happen. Is that what's happening to you? There is no other way. There is no other path. There are many paths to the one path, but that is the path. So these agents of change, here we go. We'll get to the thick of it. These agents of change, United States flag, quote, versus Chinese flag. Look in the Bible. The Bible talks about Revelation. I think it's Revelation. If Vincent is still here, he could probably steer me right. Talks about the red dragon. What is China known for? One, look at the flag. It's red. And dragons. The red dragon will rise up from the sea. We see the horse in the statue. That is George Washington. Donald Trump. It's Father's Day. All these powerful imagery. White privilege. The combative stance to Black Lives Matter. Is it possible that they both exist? And understanding that they both exist, we get to another level to where none of them exist except the absolute truth that all these agents of change are here to bring us to understand. The coronavirus, the corona beer being injected, leader of China, 5G, Bill Gates, COVID, the background of it all itself, the solar eclipse. This is powerful shiznit. So when we pull back, are you able to pull back enough? Look, I get piss and vinegar mad just like you. No, let me say that again. I get piss and vinegar pissed off. I get fired up in the moment, but when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. When you just get mad and pouty, it doesn't go anywhere. It subconsciously stores itself because now you have a default of just walking around being mad. So you process it. You get done with it. You burn it out with the fire. You make it its own solar eclipse. You eclipse two events in your life, the light and the dark, and understand what's happening in the all of it. Same as the banner I showed you. So I'm now going to read you some text excerpts from my new release, soon to be. It's already number 13. Hello. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, Gavin Lee Davies. Number 13 in the genre of ancient and controversial category. Number 13. Worldwide. You can pre-order this book. There are links in here. You can go to Amazon.com and look up Keith Anthony Blanchard, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. And I'm telling you, this is where we are. You have no choice in the matter. You have no choice in the matter whatsoever. You don't. But now that you find yourself here, do you keep going there? Or are you staying true to the state of the course here? Are you here? Are you here? Hello, Tracy, Teresa, Shasha, Sana, Paige, Sue, Debbie, Robert. So I want to share with you some truths about some of these images. I could get into them all night long, but there's two I really want to get into. It's the horse, the George Washington statue, as well as Big Daddy Rockstar. Like it or not, I'm just using these words to describe having fun with you, to say this is present and powerful and happening in the world right now. Everybody says, okay, Keith, I get your humor and your banter. Good. I am not political. I understand the game. I'm not interested in the game. I want to sit in the bleachers and watch my son play baseball. I don't want to play baseball. I did that when I was younger. Now I want to be his dad and go, hey, son, good. You got a good hit. Ah, you got out. Ah, that's all right. You can do better. That's what I want. That's where I am. So let me tell you a little bit about these statues. Hello, Sandy. Teresa says, is that a stallion? I don't know. Probably. Giddy up. So I want to tell you about divine law, not Keith's opinion. Well, Keith, you might be twisting divine law to fit your opinion. Divine law does not budge. Let me tell you about statues, heritage, history, his story, not her story, history, his story. Masculine, penis, erect, hard, male, dominant, religion, theology, philosophy. And I'm going to cram it down your throat kind of thing. But we have a statue of George Washington, the man. So we think and or thought George Washington, the guy, the founding father that started it all. Hello, Terry. Little T. George Washington, the guy that founded it all. He did. Had slaves. I'm just laying out the truth. I don't have a spin on it. Had slaves. Murdered nations of Native Americans. On the backside of George Washington, that's what he did. Let's be honest. So you can actually see the language that is moving about the world now more so than ever. Hello, Dagny. Beautiful Dagny. You're loved. So George Washington comes in, has slaves himself, and slaughters countless Indians. He did. Good old George Washington, old GW. I like me some GW, dog. I get it. The backside of that, many people were slaughtered. The front side of that was his presence was the catalyst in the vehicle for the Europeans to come over to resist the English rule to come to a new world. So which one is truly best? George Washington came here and slaughtered Indians? Or was he the catalyst for change? The agent of change? I get both sides of that fence. Do you? Do you understand that you are the change itself? And the agents of that very change constantly come to remind you how so connected you are to God, which is the unchanging changer, the one that will always change. Change. In fact, it's change itself. God is not this being that just changes. That's not what God is. God is change in motion. So when we look at the statues being desecrated. Hello, Vicky. Do I have a preference? I really don't give a shit. Whether they take them down, make them look better or taller, or they blow them apart. I really don't care. What I do care about is how a group of people feel about a reminder of oppression. Well, they weren't around. This was slavery many years ago before them. You think they weren't around? What do you think your DNA carries? Your DNA carries codes, DNA, RNA codes of past experiences. Why do you think when you have a cat, it naturally knows to piss and poop in the litter box and not on your floor? Because this is all passed down in code. So through these black people, African Americans, however they choose to be called, that makes them feel they're most powerful, that is my intention. There is something looming in their DNA code that when they naturally see something they don't like, it's a cellular memory that says, why is this constantly a reminder for me? If you are not genetically wired to have compassion, you know where I'm going with that? Take that how you like. It's meant to love you, not to be judgmental or get you to come back piss and vinegar mad at Keith. How dare you call me that? I am laying out how energy works, how spirit works, and the truth. It's not an attack of this or that. If you don't understand that genetically encodings are passed down from child to child to child to child as to why you erect a statue of a man that came in and slaughtered people and is a symbol of oppression, if that does not bother you, you will not make it into the new world. Well, I like my heritage. How's your heritage serving you now? In lockdown. It's not, is it? Because it's about unity. And strangely, in our separation, we're finding this amazing, beautiful human unity. See my point? So there's no escape. Black lives matter. Well, goddamn right, Black lives matter. So we're not going to get into that whole political conundrum. Of course, to close that off, everything matters. Now we got white privilege. Oh my God. And so I see people post all the time. Well, I understand Black lives matter. But what about this white privilege thing? Because that sounds like they're the one being racist. No, it does not. You are in denial and you are projecting your own unconscious karmic bullshit onto other people, calling them racist because you don't want to take responsibility for what the reflection, the agents of change are trying to say. I look exactly like you. How do you see yourself? End of story. You can't get out of this conundrum, this question, until you find yourself vibrating with the truth. Black lives matter. Of course they matter. White lives matter. Of course they matter. Well, this sounds like white privilege. All this back and forth. And people are using these two dynamics to sling mud to make their position even more right, which makes them even more racist. How unconscious does one want to become? Or how much more conscious wants to move themselves out of the knuckle-headed nonsense? So what I say and what should be done, and the Christ, I have no doubt on this. I lay my entire lifestyle, my entire life on this. The Christ, Jesus, the Buddha, the Krishna, Swami Yogi. If something crushes the soul of a collective race of a people, take the motherfucker down. End of story. If you don't like it, build a statue in your own house and make your table surrounded with wood. And you sit there and you eat your cereal as you spiritually masturbate on your slave owner slaughtering, murdering icon. That's okay. And if you want to have George Washington in your house or whatever the monument, how monumental is it to you? That means something else. That's wonderful. It's all choice. The point is, when it becomes so invasive in a public domain, if If you want to hang out with your kind on that side of town, that's your business. Erect whatever statue, or erect yourself, or get yourself an erection. Nobody cares, because that's where you do your thing. But in public domain, which is intended and required to be mandatory to meet all perspective, hence the word public, there is no statue, or there is all of them. Not just the one or the other. So that all of them cancels out any of them being more better than the other. So you take such statues to museums, to where they can be understood and learned about. People say, well, we will only learn from history if we can always see it. I'm sorry to tell you, that time is over. There is no more history class. There's no more history class. His story class. Now it is femstory class. Feminine story class. It's over. Now it's all history. So go to his story and look it up in the Akashic Hall of Records, because it's over and dead. Because you can bet in the new world, things that hurt people will not be allowed. How can it be? Ask yourself that question. In the most beautiful world that could possibly exist, how can anything that exists that reminds people of a horrible time? Would you like to see something that reminded you of a horrible experience in your life? Not only for a moment, but to where your whole culture has become caved in surrounding this idea of being inferior and or oppressed and suppressed and no voice. Well, Keith, what about all these black people doing all these crimes? You don't get it yet, do you? If that's your thought. I understand your question, but you don't understand the answer. Black lives matter. Of course they do. White privilege. Of course there is. Isn't there not? So don't be mad about it. Just own the fact that you have white privilege. So what that means in context, white privilege doesn't mean that you're walking around thinking you're privileged because you're white. That's why everybody gets upset when the words white privilege show up, because they think they're being called out as someone who's choosing to be privileged over the black people. That is not it at all. White privilege means I like being white. It simply means that. But compared to those people who do not have the same leverage, you don't have to like it, and you can be in denial all you want. The media slants it that way, and many different other ways. So I don't mean that as a separative. These people, our brothers and sisters, until that is recognized, saying, well, what about white privilege? Or Black Lives Matter. No matter who you are on whatever side of the fence, no matter what pigmentation you have, you are part of the problem. Hello. Do you understand? You're part of the problem. Anytime you want to combat something, you immediately engage into the problem. So how do you find your way out of the problem? You don't. You find your way into the situation till you can make the greatest influence and move it to a space of graduation, not only for yourself, but those other people. So stop letting the statues dictate to you. These are idols, mind you. One of the 10 Commandments. Idols. Something that represent a something from a previous time. And keep it erect. Don't take it down. Moses came down from the mountain himself and threw the 10 Commandments, which one of those was about idols, at the golden calf. Be it literally or metaphorically, is irrelevant. So the statues will not be erected in the new world. They won't. They will not. The new world is about unification, peace, harmony, balance, love, all these beautiful qualities. They won't be there. And if you want your statue that bad, you will die with the old world and shift to another spiritual vibration and or paradigm. And God bless you, because everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful in its own way. And so it is, as above, so below. But if you want to get on the train that has so left the station. It now depends on how fast you can run. God bless you. Father, daughter, mother, son, brother. When I come back, I'm going to talk about Big Daddy, the rock star, Donald John Trump. I am not political. I'm not anti-political. I'm going to show the revelation, so to speak, with spiritual law of whatever. We'll get there shortly. Keith Anthony Blanchard, stick around. Going to be right back. I said there. How about some lavender soul just to know you're there? We're on level 1. Actually, we're really not. Now we're moving into level 2. Father's Day, solstice, Donald Trump's speech last night, the rock star of the world. Good, bad, like or not, it's irrelevant. He is the most famous individual, the most looked upon individual in the world right now. That is an absolute fact. And solar eclipse. The background of all this happening in these 2 days, this is a very serious alignment.
There's a world apart from a man in fear. There might be a better way to appear. There's a time to trust and a time to love and a time to know what you are. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate what you are. Perfect in every way. So it's up to you, a choice to make, to promise yourself you'll celebrate. There's a time to trust and a time to love and a time to know who you are. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate who you are. Perfect in every perfect in every So it's up to you, a plan to make, to promise yourself you'll celebrate. There's a time to love and a time to trust and a time to know you are loved. Time to know you are loved. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate what you are. It's time to celebrate who you are. It's time to celebrate that you are.
I couldn't look at that screen anymore. Too much nonsense. So I want to change the music so I can get to my final segment with you. Hello, everyone. Center of Light, Renewal, Agents of Change. These are the agents of change. These are the agents of change. United States versus China. In the Bible, they talk about the red dragon comes up out of the sea, I believe, something to that effect. What do you see as you look at these agents of change? The statues being desecrated. Donald Trump, the big daddy rock star himself. Coronavirus with a needle in it. 5G China leader. Bill Gates, COVID. White privilege. Black Lives Matter. Blah, blah, blah. It's okay to stand where you want to stand. But ask yourself, do I want to stand for something that's beyond standing under fragments? Do you want to stand under something that's whole? Then you stand under change, because change is forever. That is the only thing that will never change. That is the constant, pun intended, paradoxically, the constant universal truth is the only thing that will never change is change itself. Now I want to share with you divine law, my divine experience with this divine man about Donald Trump. I'm not political. I'm not anti-political. I'm not pro-Hillary. I'm anti-Hillary. I'm not pro-Donald. I'm not any of that. I like certain people for what they do to me, as they are agents of making me change, even if I laugh. If you're a comedian and you make me laugh, you are an agent of change. It resonates with me in such a way. Donald Trump. I watched this charismatic. You don't have to like what I'm telling you. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. Hear my story. I watched this charismatic character. And I want to use that with all respect for the beautiful human he is. However he is. This charismatic character. Whether he was a president, or whether he was a movie, or a comedian, or a rock band you went and watched, there was an effect there. The guy was on point in his truth, honesty, or charade. Either way, there was something dancing. This is what I noticed. He's being funny. I get Donald Trump. In all love, without judgment, he is a buffoon. That's a good word. It's almost actually, the word buffoon is without judgment. It somewhat paints the picture clearly. His mouth, his potty mouth, his somewhat judgmental weight. I see that and I hear it. Go drive in traffic. Look at the thoughts that come into your head about white said, black person, green person, or this situation, and watch how your unconscious tongue begins to rattle off. He just rattles it off because of his power, because of his confidence, in his whatever. So I'm not, there's something around me. I get all that about him. People call him fascist. People say he is the best president. Question time, no matter who you are. He's either the this or the that, depending on how you lean. If that is a true statement to you, then you just simply acknowledge yourself. Well, I get that. I love him or I don't love him, and everybody else does love him or they don't. So that's a true statement. So that's called a question. So now what is the truth? Good question. The truth is, what is the master puppeteer moving this thing around? That's what I want to know. And automatically people say, that's the devil. You're sadly mistaken. The parts of anyone that is moving around is of a darker influence, period. So we can choose not to project our own delusions, because I don't want to own this mess I've created onto other people. So we look for the light. What if, simply what if, told to me by this man, God on earth today, He didn't tell me this, but I'm going to get into that. What if, in all of his buffoonery, his lies, his whatever that people would say that he is, what if in all that, just allow it to be there. Let it all just be there. Okay, that's what he is. He's this knuckleheaded, potty mouth, judgmental guy. But if you see that there's something there that can possibly incite change, is it possible that that is enough as to why the divine itself said, I don't care about any of your buffoonery. Right now, you are the embodiment or the infrastructure of what is needed so that divine can move through you to only create this one possible change, to drain the swamp. That's just an idea. Or to get out the cabal, or to whatever. What if it was only those few things that even the Democrats would say, I actually do agree with these three aspects of him. Everything else is shit. What if it's truly about those three aspects that are so important? Sounds like I'm supporting him. I'm not. I'm revealing to you how the divine works. And this divine man told me 5 years ago. I interviewed God on earth, and he told me, very shortly in the near future, the United States is going to sit down with North Korea and have a peaceful conversation. He told me this. 2 years ago, I interviewed him again, and he said, did I not tell you 3 years ago the United States was going to sit down with North Korea and shake hands? He said this because it's truth and it's positive and it's love and it's light. The divine energies will never tell you about negativity. Never. So the reason he mentioned this is to say that I knew this was going to happen because in my divine willness, I can tell you that it's going to happen because it's going to happen. So in that being said, is it possible that Donald Trump, to whatever conscious degree that capacity he has, is making the changes necessary and needed until the next person shows up to clean up his leftover mess? There is an order in the way the divine will plays out. Hello, Kyle. Hello, Helia Pereira. Hi. Rhonda Little says I came back. Hello, baby. Darnell Morgan. Cheryl Nash Taylor. Debbie. Vicky again. Oh, thank you for the Father's Day blessing, Debbie. Hello, Andrea. Andrea. So, is it possible that Donald Trump is only here to play out a small role? It seems big because he is the biggest rock star on the planet. I am not anti-Trump. I am not pro-Trump. I don't care about any of that. I'm revealing the spiritual law. And the spiritual law is, look at what's happening. Solstice today, Donald Trump, for the new election, eclipse today, Father's Day today. This is powerful stuff. This is an alignment. So as all these energies play out, it's simply, what do you see? You can choose your weaponry, and it's okay. But as soon as you want something better, it gets really easy. I'm going to change the music here, and we're going to go to one of my favorites. Not that. So, as we look at people like Donald Trump, these people just have roles to play. They're playing them perfectly. Or you're allowing yourself to play the game perfectly and not cheat. Is it so simple that a few years ago, Swamji told me, a couple years from now, the United States is going to sit down with North Korea. And it happens. Why has this divine man never told me anything negative? He's never told me anything negative, ever. He just says what's positive. And so him telling me 5 years ago, I told you years ago, this is going to happen. So they're saying I am that which is the alignment of positivity. And I'm telling you that this is going to happen. So in some small divine way, this is purposeful. You don't have to like him for his racist tongue or his judgmental tongue and Rosie O'Donnell and his behind the scenes in a tour bus talking shit with his bros. I talk shit with my bros. It's not defending him. My point is, there's something happening in the presence of this energy. This is now what I want to share with you. Beyond the presidency of Donald Trump, if it happens at all, it will be a woman. Possibly two. But it's also very equally powerful and possible. There will no longer be a governmental leader, but a divine leader that everyone follows, not out of a religion and a governmental way, but because they are the way. Oh, Keith, this sounds like the demon talked about in the Bible about being the light that leads people astray. This is so exactly what I am not talking about whatsoever. That demon has already illuminated itself as to why we are in lockdown. So, Center of Light Renewal. Agents of change. You are an agent of change. I hope to God you are. Solar eclipse, Father's Day, Donald Trump's speech. And about Donald, it's about the power and the significance of the event of the rock star of the entire world right now has been delivered from last night. And the solar eclipse, the background of it all. When you simply allow yourself to see, wow, this is kind of strange that all these things are happening, that's the first step to understanding the language that no one has ever spoken to you, or they have, and you just simply didn't understand it. You don't have to be mad at Hillary. I get mad at Hillary and Obama and Donald and all of it, and the COVID and the Bill Gates and all the bullshit. And I don't care who's right or wrong. I just get mad at the bullshit. Before I go to break, I'm going to tell you something I swore to myself I wouldn't tell you. Hello, Linda. Hello, Deborah Hammonds. Let's see who else is here. As an agent of change myself, and I know you are, but I'm speaking for me. As an agent of change, next year, you're going to hear, next year and a half, you're going to hear some things that you will not believe. You will not believe. People you know as elected public officials, they already have been executed. How do you know that, Keith? I don't truly know it. Let me tell you why I say that. Because I know that when I cook food, that when you add onions, it gets really yummy. And when you add too much of this, it gets really bad. I've learned the language from following people, learning of how to meander in the rabbit holes to learn who has the best bang for their buck. Many people that we know have been already executed. And I don't care if I'm wrong. They've already been executed. How do they exist on TV? Because they're clones. And or the technology of making these 3D images. Look it up. It all exists. Point is, agents of change. Agents of change. Secret agent man. Secret agent man. What do you see? Do you see the solstice? Happy Father's Day? Do you see statues being desecrated? Do you see the corona hypodermic needle taking in the corona beer? Metaphorically, the virus, white privilege, Black Lives Matter, Bill Gates, Big Daddy Donald Trump. It's okay. Is that what you want? I only do it because I like learning about the world. I get it. That's awesome, and I understand. I'm asking you to be careful because the more you want to learn about the world that is still trying to manipulate you, that truly is already dead, that's the attempts of this world to stay alive. The new world will not wait for anyone. The new world is not about Donald. It's not about Rona. It's not about this. It's not about that. Well, Keith, I just follow the world. Oh, hang on. Let me change what it says. Hang on a second.
We're talking about.
There we go. So the new world is not about trying to figure out how to make this world better. That's not what it is. Don't get all caught up in that illusion. Have fun with the TV channel you're watching called Earth. Stay internally referenced. Tonight I spoke about phase 1, pre-2020, 2019, July 31st, New Year's Eve. I said tomorrow your life's going to change. Guess what? Father's Day, God, Father, the ultimate Father, being recognized today. Donald Trump's speech, whether you like him or not. The rock star speech. Solstice. We're going to the next level. I suggest that seatbelt you've been holding on to, take it off. Let go. Holding on is what's been kicking all of our ass. Like in the movie Contact, when Jodie Foster was in the transport and she got to the other dimension, she decided to take the seatbelt off and she floated away. And the seat got violent because of the energy and it disintegrated. And she was safe. Same idea. Well, I understand. I'm just entertained. Be careful. Energies are spinning on levels you don't understand. That will take us into rabbit holes that make us right. And we think, oh my God, this must be the way. Are you listening to what I'm telling you? I feel good and my candidate and my thing is leading the way and I feel right in my position. For now. Be careful. Until that can possibly take you to a place to your rightness and what made you feel so good. And you hit an absolute solid and complete wall. And there you find yourself fall. The door that is open is beyond what any of us can possibly understand. I will see you shortly. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchett. Yanava!
I will be with you always, until the end of time. You will never be alone. I am.
I feel you there beside me. All of my life, all through my days, I've seen places far away. Wondering just where, time and again, I have come to know you. Wondering just where, time and again, you are there beside me. When I create
is my will that you know me. I will not hide my love from you. You create your reality, and every moment by your own perceptions, your judgments, actions. Peace is a state of mind. Bliss is a state of heart. Heaven is a state of being.
Deep in my heart, I know you're there. I can always feel you guiding my life to see the light that will lead me to the truth. When I create, when I feel love, whenever I feel you with me, I celebrate times of my life. There is only you and me. For you are my mother,
My soul.
my divine lover. I celebrate times of my life. There is only you and me. Help me live.
Heat. Things are heating up. We've discussed these on quite a few of the presentations. Fire. Vent. The Notre Dame Cathedral that collapsed. City is burning, as it is called. The fire of purification is being turned up. You have been. Welcome back to Center of Light. My new book coming out, Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. You can go to Amazon.com. I just posted a link. Amazon.com. Keith Anthony Blanchard, Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. This is what's happening for everyone. You can choose to do it and be blissful and walk across the bridge, or you can be scared and the rope bridge begins to sway and you fall into the abyss. It's up to you. Agents of change. Agents of change. It's everywhere. Are you upset because of this and that? And I get it. I get in my moods as well. But are you conscious enough to understand you're just simply in a mood? Or do you brood about it over and over and over? Things are happening. Phase 1. What we just saw. Father's Day. Same day as solstice, eclipse. The world's rock star, Donald Trump, last night, the leader, most focused on individual, gave a talk. Like it or not, that person gave a talk. Solar eclipse. So now what? Tomorrow, your life's going to change. Your life's going to change. I said this December 31st, 2019. Tomorrow your life's going to change. A month later, our lives change. Guess what? Tomorrow your life's going to change. Phase 2. What is phase 2? It's something other than the first experience. So what is the first experience? I don't like this so much. Good for you. It's not designed for you to like it. It loves you. And it wants you to move into your own love so you can understand the grace that's given to you as a reflection of one of those agents of change. Don't worry. I know Donald Trump, political or not political, anti-not, I know he will not. He can be an asshole to anything else. I don't give a shit. One thing I do care about is he will not allow forced vaccinations. That in and of itself, I'm grateful. If that's the only thing he contributed to this pie, I'm a happy individual. Everyone knows it. He's not going to let it happen. He's not. He may be a this, that, or the other, but he's not going to let forced vaccination happen. So I'm happy. Agents of change. So tomorrow, Your life is going to be an agent of change. Keith, this sounds scary. Goddamn right it does. The reason it sounds scary, not because it's doom and gloom, it's because it's new ground, something none of us has ever tread upon ever before. Ever. Ever. What I have been experiencing in my waking states of consciousness, I'm going to do my dishes, or I'm going to cook some food. I experience, hello Anna, hello Ali. Let's see who else is here. Oriana Silverstern. Hi. What I have been experiencing for the last 6 months. I'll be standing at the kitchen stove, the sink, making whatever that I'm doing, and just have this explosion happen inside of me. So much so, it's not like in a realization kind of thing. It's like, what is that? And it always implies an explosion. I don't mean nuclear holocaust explosion. That's not what I'm implying. I'm implying an explosion, though it may include something that explodes in a combustible kind of way, but something that is explosive. That is coming. We're here. 9:33 Central Time, June 21st, 2020. From this moment, trust me when I tell you, as an ambassador of the light, what's coming is going to be explosive. How you take it can be either beautiful in its explosion or corrosive. It's really up to you. But it is here. It would announce itself soon. In fact, if it doesn't happen immediately, you can bet your sweet bippy, whether you're from New York or Mississippi, the closer that November 3rd gets here, that thing that I'm describing to you will get here. Now that you're being pre-warned, heated, seated, seat yourself to know that. Don't get pulled into it. It will pull you into it. In fact, you don't have a choice. Because if it was something you already experienced, you go, well, I'm used to this dynamic, so I've already learned how to not let it affect me. This is beyond that. Something no one has ever thought of. Now, are you going to find yourself in, I knew this was coming, though I'm affected, or I knew this was coming, now I'm erected within myself to be stable. I don't have to like it, you don't have to like it, and you probably won't. This is another agent of change. This has all been perfectly designed, not for everyone, but for you. Until you understand the significance and the importance and the snowflake that you know as you will not understand to the fullest potential the language in the dictionary of the Hall of the Akashic Records that is actually who you are. Sounds like spiritual jargon and semantics. Good. You understand spiritual jargon and semantics. We're moving into phase 2. So Keith, I'm curious, what's phase 3? 2008, 12, it wasn't really 2012. That was a mismark. It's 2020. So all that being said, phase 1. 16. 15 is the halfway point. 2017, energy's moving. 2018, I have been telling you what's coming. 2019, December 31st, I said your life is going to change tomorrow. And we find ourselves in this, in the Bible, in Revelations of the Bible. This is not about me. This is about the fact that I am able to be in touch with these beings that are saying, this is what I am supposed to do. I'm supposed to share with you how we can all prepare ourselves, not from doom and gloom, but from loom to bloom. So phase one. Phase one's done. Now we're crossing the threshold. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. From the dark all the way across this rickety rope bridge. Everything's backwards, forgive me. Into the sun. The S-U-N, the S-O-N, sun. Phase two is here. If phase one pissed you off, pissed me off. If phase one freaked you out, if phase one, whatever, within or without a doubt, I love you so much to tell you. Phase two, the volume's simply going to go from here to here. So you can choose to either get more trumped or anti-trumped or bumped or rumped or coroned or COVID or whatever it is you choose to do. Or you can simply choose to go, I understand the story, but I'm definitely interested in the glory. The choice will become yours. Well, Keith, I'm pretty solid because my chosen deity or my chosen leader or my chosen stance, and I feel pretty good right now. Good. If it does not align with that which is going to last forever, you will forever endeavor in knuckleheaded nonsense and self-quandary and misery and trouble. Black Lives Matter. White privilege. Who is right? None of you. None of you are right. If you're actually thinking from this particular default place in the first place, you are not right at all. You're not right and or balanced with yourself. If you're thinking that white privilege is right and that you haven't, and you should not be black-living me over my white privilege and calling me that because I'm pissed off, and vice versa to Black Lives Matter, you are all wrong. You're all fucking indefinitely wrong. Because you're leaning into monkey-headed, knuckle-headed nonsense in the first place. How do you get out of white privilege and or Black Lives Matter if you're talking about it and trying to discuss something that is undiscussable? There's no way out of discussing it. You have to be the personification of it. Push comes to shove it. Be your loving, human, beautiful, divine self. Let people figure it out. This is a time, check this out. This is a time of karma, and no stone will be unturned. No stone will be unturned. No stone will be unturned. Aletha, I will send you some love and light energy, beautiful. Thank you. You can bet. You can see, or you can see. Or you can be upset, or you can set yourself up to another level of seeing the divine all at work. Or you can choose to work yourself up. I'm going to hang out with my beautiful son and my beautiful kitty cat. She's crazy beautiful. I love her. Your love beyond measure. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. Release date, July 31st, 2020. Everything I've been sharing with you tonight comes from my 30 years of my beautiful heart. You are loved, never apart. And what is it doing? It's creating steam.